Hi everyone, I hope you're doing super well. You know, a while back, one of you in my comments on another video asked me about what is my watering routine like. So today, I'm going to show it to you. So we'll begin here in my kitchen, but go back and forth to the living room. And here, I already just watered my philodendron patriciae, which, as you can see, is taller than I am, and I am 5'6". So this one is going over 6 feet at this time. And then I also watered two flamingo flower plants. Still want to clean off their leaves a little bit too, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, let's head over into the living room because this is where a majority of all the plants exist. And the thing is that normally I don't have to like do all of my plants in one day. It's usually spread out. It's more of a marathon compared to a race. But this week, because over the weekend, last weekend, we had snow here in Denver with like 26 degrees Fahrenheit and not a lot of sunshine at all, I had to hold off on watering plants. And now that we're back in the 60s and it's sunny, the plants need some watering. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to grab the philodendron Jose Bono here. We're going to grab my Anthurium giganteum here. And we're going to move those over into the kitchen because they need a good watering. And, you know, I'm sure that you've already seen right over hither, but I already pre-made some of my watering fertilizer. So basically what we have going on here is whenever I water my plants, I always put like a smidge of fertilizer in their water. And that's this mixture here. What I like to use is Alaska Fish Fertilizer 511. You can get it at like Home Depot's lower, order it off of Amazon. And it's really cheap. I think like 10 bucks a bottle. But yeah, my plants do and really thrive with it, you know, because apparently fish poop is what plants like. So I shall give them what they like. And what I normally do is like when I'm doing mass waterings, like I do every single week, is I water them, I let them sit in the sink for a little bit while I go and grab other plants. And then I put down two old towels, which are behind me over here, and then that way they can just dry off. So since this Patriciae is already watered, we're going to move her back, this 6-foot baby, back over. And her new leaf came out, by the way, as you can see right there dangling. I have to do this with precision and care because I can't let her fall. She's too beautiful. And yeah, this is my favorite plant in my collection, like I've told you guys before. And she goes right in the middle. She is the staple plant of my collection. This is one of my Dean McDowell cuttings. And for the time being, I'm actually just going to put him right there. And so Patricia goes over here in this center spot. Perfecto. And she's more at like an angle like that. And so there we go. A little bit more this way. And always trying to lean her pole up as I try to like add more to it because she grows like crazy, especially this summer. She grew a couple extra feet there, so I'll probably have to like take another long pole and get that in there as well. But then over here, I need to water my philodendron majestic and my philodendron Florida ghost. If I can seem to pick them out of here. It's funny, like some of these plants, like their leaves just grow all over the place, and so it's like they're doing little loop-de-loos around all the other plants. And normally I like to also try to wash off some of their leaves as well. And I think we're going to try to do that a little bit with not the giganteum as much. I like to wash its leaves off once every 2 waterings, but like with the philodendron Jose Bono here, I'm just gonna use some leaf shine, and that not only helps clean off the leaves, but it really makes them look pretty too. And I know that dust piles up no matter where you live, and so by cleaning off the plant's leaves, you have yourself some happy plants that will be able to photosynthesize easier, collect the sun, and grow much faster, which is what we want to see with our plants, don't we? Yes, we do. And so I won't do like all of these plants just because, like I said, I do get in the habit of cleaning them off every other watering usually, not just my anthuriums, but pretty much all of them, just because it really would take too much time. And especially when you take a look in the living room, like those ones on the walls, I only cleaned them off once this year, and that was a couple weeks ago as I took them down off of that wall to just spray them with water in the shower and give them a nice soaking. And I'm so glad I did because they were covered in dust. Okay, so we'll go down there and we'll move the Florida Ghost into the sink. That leaf's not doing too well. I have a hunch, it's probably not going to last too long. These leaves that are pure white, like on the philodendron Florida Ghost, the issue becomes that they need bright light in order to maintain that variegation. And when they don't, those leaves really struggle with surviving. And so I know that with the lack of sunlight my western facing windows have been getting lately, it's really put my variegated plants, especially like the Florida Ghost, onto the struggle bus just a tad bit. And I don't like seeing them struggle. So yeah, that's a little story about the Florida Ghost. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant though. Absolutely stunning. And at first when I got it, I didn't know how to care for it. I mean, I just was like, oh, I'm going to put this wherever I want, which was a place that didn't have a whole lot of bright light. And so it reverted. It just came out green. And then all of a sudden I started paying attention to it more and putting it in areas where it got brighter light, increased humidity. That's when those beautiful, stunning white leaves came out. And I'll tell you, if you've never had a Florida Ghost before, what I adore about them is that when their new leaves come out this ghostly white, they stay like that for several months, like about 3 months, I would say, at least in what I've experienced. In my experience, they have. And I really love this leaf right here. It's like a quarter moon. Look at that. It's got like a quarter of white in it, and the rest is just that dark hunter green. That's my favorite leaf. And I think that happened while I was repotting this plant and putting it in a bigger pot. And so it was interesting seeing that as the new leaf. And I wish that all of them looked like that because it's really pretty. I'm curious though, what is your watering day like? I mean, do you do all your plants at once or do you spread it out through the week? Because normally that's how like my week is it's usually like Mondays are a big day, Tuesdays are a big day, and then the rest of the week, it's just a little bit here and there, not too much, but yeah, just let me know in the comments. I'm curious because I do read your guys' comments, and if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can see more interesting planty content like this. I've got a lot of videos out there, over 130 so far that I've done on my plant journey that I'd love for you guys to see, and I think you'd get a kick out of them. So yeah, it's philodendron majestic here. My buddy Pedro gave this to me as a cutting, and it grew out roots. I propagated it in water, grew some beautiful roots, potted it up, and it's already popped out 2 new leaves, and it's got a third on the way, so I'm very excited for that. And so we will now just let those 2 chill out down here until at least the bottom part of the pot isn't like, having any water come out of it. Just want to make sure that that's dried off. And in the meantime, I'm going to clean off these guys' leaves a little bit so I can put them back over where they belong, which is next to the Patriciae. And I'm sure you've seen this anthurium before at your local Home Depot, your local grocery store. This is called the Flamingo flower plant because of its beautiful, beautiful, striking, colorful foliage. And it's interesting because a lot of people think that, even with a nickname like Flamingo flower, that those are flowers, but indeed, they're actually not. They're part of foliage. They're a different kind of foliage within this anthurium, and they grow like crazy unless you're, not giving them the adequate sort of care that they need, which is medium to bright indirect light, I would say, and high humidity, which helps them thrive and really take off. And so I make sure that they're next to the Patriciae, one, because that is an area that has bright indirect light, but also two, I really do like the way that foliage looks with the color, and so I kind of use it to accent and make like around the sides of the Patriciae pop a little bit more by having it around there. This one is the hot pink color, and then I have one that is red, and I have one that is also white, but the white one struggles to put out that color, mostly because I have it here in my kitchen behind the camera where you guys can't see it. But yeah, so I got this one done, and this one goes over on the right side of the Patriciae. And so make sure that its colors stand out. There we go. Yeah, just like that. Excellent. Okay, now this Pothos and Joy definitely needs a watering. I watered my Anthurium crystallinum over here yesterday. I do need to water this new cutting. If you watch one of my previous videos with the Philodendron Dean McDowell cuttings, this is the cutting I popped up, and look, you can already see how well that new leaf is already starting to unfurl and come on out. So that's what we're going to do, is water these two babies. And tell you what, I'm glad that I upgraded the size of this Pothos and Joy here's pot, because that thing was like drying out like crazy, and it would get so fussy when it would dry out. Like, I mean, the thing would just turn yellow and run right away, whereas other ones I have don't really run into that at all. So here we go. And this will only be the second time I've watered this cutting since potting it up, and it's doing really well. That was the episode, I think like maybe one or two back, where I was having the plant emergency because I had it propagating up on my countertop up there above my cupboards. And the issue is that the new leaf started to unfurl earlier than expected, like within 3 weeks' time. The thing was moving fast. And so I needed to pot it up right away, and I did get all of that done, so that's good. And yeah, I'm going to clean off its leaves, though. I did put this next to the window closer because I wanted it to get some good, bright, indirect. Though the area I was thinking about putting it in, where I have some Soltech Solution lights, grow lights, it might do well over there as well, because that area tends to help get some really good light. So we shall see. We shall see indeed. But what I'm thinking is, because I can assure you on a day like this when there's a lot of cutting or a lot of plants to take care of, is that this could take a minute. So why don't we just do like a fast speed up time lapse? And just like that, I'm finally done watering these plants, at least the ones that needed to be watered immediately, which were somewhere around, I don't know, 1 to 3,000 plants. But you know what? They're watered, and that's all that matters. If you're curious to know how long it took me for the entire process inside that time lapse, we're talking about like an hour and a half to get a majority of the ones in my living room done. I had to move some into the bathtub because they're too large to, wash in the sink. But here we are, and I'm curious to know in the comments below if you folks wouldn't mind telling me, what is your water schedule like with your plants? I'm sure it's all over the map, but do you have an easier way of going about things to make it easier for yourself and for your plants? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you guys can catch more fun and interesting planting content just like this. I'll see you guys in the next video.